Okay, so we'll come down. We're going to just start lying down, as I said. So just any comfortable lying position will do today. So just whatever feels right to you. So just get yourself comfortable. Maybe close your eyes if you like. And just take a few moments, just coming away from your day. Just beginning to draw your attention inwards. So becoming aware of your breath and maybe following the breath. So you can start to follow it as it comes in through your nose, along the back of your throat and down into your belly. And then start to follow the exhale from your belly and all the way out through your nose again. Just noticing the rhythm of your breath. As your breath starts to smooth out, just noticing your body, just how it feels this morning. Noticing areas of tightness or tension. Just seeing if you could release that just a little bit more. So our class today is a practice in presence. So presence is really what we want to achieve in our yoga. We want to be present for the entire practice. And practicing that presence on our mat can help us to then bring that into our lives. And a lot of us, me included, are quite guilty of not really living in the present, but either dwelling on the past or planning for the future. So it's really trying to ensure that we do kind of enjoy every moment rather than worrying about what's happened or what's going to happen. So really just trying to cultivate that a little bit today. And there are some tools in yoga that we can use to do that. So we'll just look at them. So we'll start to move a little bit. So you can move your fingers and move your toes. And then when you're ready, we're going to start to just bring your feet flat onto the ground. When you get there, you can draw your right knee towards your chest. And we're going to extend your left leg so along the mat and have it on the ground. It really flex a little bit through your left foot. And at the same time, just drawing that right knee in just a little bit. Do a little stretch through the lower back and the hips. And we're going to circle around here. So just with that right knee, just start to very gently rotate it round. So you're just trying to get a sense of how your hip joint is feeling today and be present with that movement. So being aware of it. So one of the benefits of being present is that we are much more aware of how things feel and we can adjust them and modify them to suit ourselves. Okay, when you're ready, we'll change direction, just moving that leg in the opposite way. So just circling it round, breathing and moving. Okay, we'll come back into the centre. Now from here, you're going to extend your right leg. So just take it up towards the ceiling. Again, if you don't want to fully straighten it, don't worry about it. And you can always place your left foot on the ground if that feels better. Now on an inhale, we're going to move the leg out towards the right a little bit more. So you're just going to take it out just the way you can. As you exhale, back into the centre. And then as you inhale, we'll just move it the other way. So we're just kind of, again, seeing how that hip feels as we move it side to side. You can spread your arms a little bit if you need to give yourself a little bit of purchase on the ground. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So just take your time, just moving from side to side. And then make your way back into the centre. Then from there, we're going to swap the legs. We're going to work up through the core a little bit. So as you inhale, just lower that right leg and lift the left leg up. Exhale here. And then inhale and just swap legs again. So just nice and easy. Again, you can bend your legs as much as you need to Just see how it feels as you lift and you lower the legs. So work slowly. Be present with it. So if you need to bend your knee or you need to do something else, then do that. Now the next time you have your left leg lifted, we can keep it lifted up towards the ceiling and then bend the knee in towards your chest again. Again, strongly press away through your right heel and draw the left knee in. And then when you're ready, just very gently start to circle that knee round. Just moving through the hip joint. You see how this side feels in comparison to the other side. When you're ready, change directions, just moving in the opposite way. You come back into the middle, and then when you're ready, we'll extend that leg up towards the ceiling again. So again, maybe use your hands here. And as you inhale, move the leg over to the left a little. Exhale to the center, and inhale, start to let it go the other way. Okay, we'll do that once more, so just take your time. And when you're ready, just come back in towards the middle. As you do, we'll just draw the knees, both of them this time, in towards your chest. You can make any little movements there. Now from here, we're going to take your feet flat onto the ground. We're going to do a little moving bridge here. So we're going to have your feet flat, heels quite close in. And as you inhale here, we're just going to start to tilt the pelvis a little bit. And then we're going to start to peel the back a little bit off the ground. So coming up just to where you can, but moving a little bit at a time, maybe up to your middle back or your upper back. Inhale at the top, and then as you exhale, start to press your spine back down again. Again, trying to move carefully through each vertebrae. Inhale at the bottom, and exhale, start to tilt and peel your back up. So just warming up through the muscles of your back, taking your time, trying to encourage that nice curve in your spine as you lift and as you lower. Okay, we'll just do one more of these again, just in your own time. And then as you lower back down again, we'll draw the knees in towards your chest once more. Now from here, we're going to come up to sitting. So you might want to roll over onto your side, or you could just roll back and forward and come up, but just however you like to come up is fine. So as we come to sitting, we're going to sit in easy pose, so Sukhasana, just cross-legged if you can, and sit nice and upright. So from there, as you inhale, we'll reach up with both hands. And then on the exhale, we're just going to fold forward. So you might just take your hands down, and that might be enough, or maybe you walk your hands out a little bit, release the upper back a little bit, but just see how it feels. A little stretch through your hips. And relax your shoulders and relax your head. Now from here, we're going to walk over towards the right side a little bit more. So just start to walk your fingers over, take your time. You get a little stretch through the left side of your body. And again, try to release a little bit through your head and through your neck. So press down a little bit more through that left hip, so we're not lifting it up off the ground to get further. When you're ready, inhale back into the middle, start to move the other way. Again, just take yourself around just to where you start to feel that stretch through the side of your body. Maybe breathe into your right side. When you're ready, we'll move back into the middle. And then just start to walk your hands back, so just towards your feet. And from here, we're going to take your legs wide. So we're going to widen your legs. You don't have to take them super wide, but if you widen them, you can always bend your knees here if it feels a little bit better to you, or keep the legs straight, whatever feels right. So we will sit upright onto your sit bones. We're going to take a little stretch through the side of the body again. So taking your right hand onto your right leg somewhere. And if you can reach your ankle or your foot, then do that, but just see how it feels. And then start to lift up and over through your left arm. So we're just stretching through the fingertips, keeping the sit bones down, so we're not lifting them up to get further over. Just a little stretch through the side body. You rotate your chest a little bit. When you're ready, inhale back into the center. And then we'll just start to move the other way. Again, take your left hand, start to stretch it along your leg to any degree, and then reach up and over to your right arm. So reach through your fingertips, relax the shoulders a little. Okay, when you're ready, come back up. And this time we're going to turn our bodies round towards that right leg. So just rotate your torso a little bit. Reach up with both hands as you inhale. And then on the exhale, we'll just fold towards that leg. So you might place your hands just on the floor, either side of the leg. Maybe you take them onto the leg, or maybe you can take your foot, just whatever feels right. And then just relax down into your shoulders and your head. So there are certain tools in yoga that we can use to allow us to be present. One of them is setting an intention. So if you'd like to today, you could set an intention for your practice. It's really just the energy that you create in your practice. You might want to commit that to something that you want to cultivate, or maybe there's somebody else that you know that is in need of that energy. Okay, when you're ready, we'll come back up again. I'm just going to move that towards the other side. So start to rotate your torso around. So you keep the sit bones down. Inhale to reach and exhale to fold. And it's not just the setting of the intention that will help us to remain present, but it's the revisiting of it. So whenever you have kind of a pause in your practice, you can kind of reflect on the intention and just, give it a little boost. And that helps us to remain engaged and present within our practice. Okay, when you're ready, we'll come back up again. So just take your time moving back up. You bring your legs back together now, maybe give them a little shake. We are going to move into an all fours position now. So you might just swing your legs round and come into all fours, whatever suits you to come in. As you find that position, just make sure your hands are under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. And we'll just do a few cat-cow movements here. So as you inhale, just drop your belly and start to pull forwards through your chest. And on the exhale, just rounding it. So just moving at your own time and your own pace. Just see how that feels. So another thing we can use is if you want a mantra. So a mantra is just a phrase that we repeat to ourselves, which can help to reinforce any kind of positive behaviors. And you could repeat to yourself, because it's a presence practice, I am present. Maybe whenever you feel you're not, a good time to do it. Now come back into the center. We're going to continue moving here, but we're going to move forwards and back a little bit. So when you're ready, on your inhale, start to glide forwards a little bit. And on the exhale, start to move back a little. Again, you just have to judge it, but if you can, maybe move a little bit further over your wrists. And maybe move back so that your hips go all the way back towards your heel. See how that feels. Just move at your own pace. As well as moving at your own pace, you can also do your own thing. So if you wanted to here, you could increase this by moving back, tucking your toes, and actually lifting your hips to down dog as you go back. But you don't have to, you can still keep with that child's pose. On the inhale, lift your heels, move forwards, and then forwards over your hands. Again, you can stay moving into that child's pose if you want to make it a little bit more. Then move to down dog. So we're going to do that one more time. So any variation. Just when you're ready, we're going to come into an all fours position again. It's going to make our way there. As you come into that all fours, we're going to step your right foot up towards the top of your mat. So you can just step it through, have your hands either side of that right foot. Maybe slide your left leg back a little bit. And you can either keep your hands on the ground, or as you inhale, lift your chest up. And today we're just going to take the hands onto that front thigh. You could just rest here, or maybe you could start to gently press yourself back without forcing it, just moving it into a little bit of a back bend if it feels nice. Done. Now slowly release that, so lower your hands back down towards your mat. And then from there, we'll tuck the toes and lift through your back knee. We are going to step up to the top of the mat here, so maybe bend the leg, step it through, and have your feet hip distance and just fold in. And then as you inhale here, start to lengthen your spine, so moving your hands up your legs. On the exhale, we'll fold all the way back in again. As you inhale, we're going to reach up, so we're going to rise all the way up towards the top. And on the exhale, we're just going to bow all the way back down towards your legs. On the inhale here, lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, take your hands down. We'll step back with your right leg this time. So we're just going to step it back. And as you do that, you might lower your knee down. You might keep your knee lifted. Again, you can keep your hands on the ground. Or as you inhale, start to lift your chest again. But only if it feels okay. And then maybe reach up with your arms. And try and release the shoulders a little bit. Good. You can bend your back knee if you'd like, and you can keep your back knee on the ground. Okay, from there, we'll release the hands all the way back down towards the mat. So if you do have your back knee on the ground, you might want to lift it off now. And then we'll step back with your left leg into that plank position. Lower your knees and then just bend your elbows and lower all the way down towards the mat. As you inhale, start to draw the shoulders back, so lift your chest a little. And then on the exhale, you can either push back onto your knees into that child's pose, or maybe you tuck your toes and push back to down dog. So it's really up to you. They're both there. You just have to remain present enough to see them. So moving to child's pose, moving to down dog, just however your body feels this morning. Okay, we'll take one more in. When you're ready, we'll lift the heels up and just lower your knees all the way back down towards the mat. So we'll come in for that left side. So when you're ready, we'll step your left foot up towards the top of your mat. So again, one hand either side. Maybe slide the right leg back a little bit. So keeping your hands on the ground, or start to lift your chest up. Again, maybe placing your hands on that front thigh. Staying here, or maybe start to push back a little bit. Just whatever feels nice. Okay, when you're ready, we'll release the hands all the way back down towards the mat. When you get there, we'll tuck the toes and lift the back knee up off the ground. And then from there, we're going to step up towards the top of your mat again. Again, maybe just take that little fold in. And as you inhale, start to lengthen your spine forward, moving the hands. On the exhale, we'll fold back in. On the inhale, reach up, rising all the way up to the top. And on the exhale, folding all the way back down towards your legs. As you inhale here, lengthen your spine. And on the exhale, we'll take the hands down and we'll step back with your left leg this time. So again, you can lower your back knee down towards the ground. You can keep your hands down, or maybe on the inhale, start to lift your chest. Again, just see how it all feels when you get there. and relax a little bit through it. So working slowly is another method of trying to keep ourselves present. So often if we go too quickly through things, we tend to kind of miss things. Okay, when you're ready, release your hands all the way back down to the ground. Okay, when you're there, if you've got your back nail down, then we'll lift it. We'll step to plank, lowering your knees, bend your elbows, lower down. As you inhale, draw your shoulders back, lift your chest. On the exhale, pressing back. So again, child's pose, down dog, your choice. Maybe when you get there, you take a deep inhale through your nose and you sigh out your mouth. Remember, you have the license here to move, so if you want to, you could bend in one leg and bend in the other leg. You can do anything you want. Okay, from here, we're going to move forward. So again, you can lower your knees here, would be a good option. As you inhale, we're just going to slip forwards into that plank position. And then on the exhale, we're going to push back to down dog. So if this is too much, just lower your knees down. And you go back to what you did before. Okay, so inhale forwards, exhale back. It's entirely up to you. You just have to use your knees. It's or not, it's your choice. Now we'll do one more of these, so just take your time. I'm going to move back into down dog. So we're just going to stay in this down dog position. As you come into it, what we're going to do is lower your right knee towards the mat. As you do that, you're going to extend your left leg behind you. So we come into this kind of all fours position. So the hips are nice and level, belly in. And as you exhale, we're going to draw the knee in. We're going to round through your back. As you inhale, we're going to lengthen away behind us to stretch that leg out. So do that again. So exhale, draw the knee in, round your back. Inhale, press it away. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So draw your knee in, press away. And as you press away this time, we'll keep the leg lengthened behind us. And then we will lower that left foot down towards the mat. As you do that, you're going to step back with your right leg. As you do that, you can lower your knees, or maybe you just bend your elbows halfway. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. Exhale, press back, downward dog. Again, you might take a big breath in, depends how hot it is in your room, and then a big sigh out. Then we're going to do that on the other side. So when you're ready, slowly lower your left knee towards the mat, extend your right leg way behind you. So big inhale, and as you exhale, draw the knee in, round your back, inhale, lengthen away. Okay, so working at your own pace, just flowing through it. And the other tool that we use is our breath. So using our breath to keep ourselves present. So if we're aware of our breath, then we are present because we're thinking about it. And extend and lengthen the leg away. Hold it away this time, and then lower that right foot to the ground. And then when you're ready, step back with your left leg, lowering your knees straight away if you like. Otherwise, inhale, bend your elbows. Lift up into that upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Very nice. Okay, from there, we're going to lift your heels up. We're just going to walk up towards the top of your mat. So just take your time, just walking your feet up. As you get there, maybe separate your feet, bend your knees. And if you'd like to, you could take hold of opposite elbows here. So just take a very gentle sway. So we're not swinging too much, but just nice and gentle. Keep your belly pulled in. Okay, from there, release your arms, and then we're going to roll up. So draw your belly in, just start to roll and rise up. So pulling the belly in, stacking your spine as you come up. Roll your shoulders back. Release. Very nice. Okay, we're going to come into our balance now. So we're going to do Karadasana, legs only or legs and upper body. And if you have a block, you could use the block just to rest your foot on. You can use a wall. So we've got a wall then just stay close to that. So if you are using the block or you want to use it, just place it to the outside of your right foot. And then we'll separate your feet. We're going to stand on your right leg. So we're going to bend into it a little bit and draw your belly in. And then you can start with your hands on your hips. And we're just going to lift up through the left leg. So all we're going to do is to cross the thigh over the thigh. And as you do that, you can either rest your left foot onto the block or onto the floor. It's really up to you. And then maybe bring your hands just in towards the center of your chest. If you want a little bit more, then taking that left foot and try and wrap it around the back of your right calf. Again, just watch your hips, make sure they stay towards the middle. And maybe start to sink a little bit into your hips. But find your drishti, so where you're going to gaze. Find your even breath. You can stay with that. If you want the arms, we'll stretch them out and we'll start to take our left arm underneath our right. So as you do that, you might grab your shoulders, or maybe you start to wrap the arms, taking hold of your forearm or your hand. And as you have the hips drop in, maybe start to lift the elbows up a little bit. Maybe give it a little squeeze. About your breath. Focus your gaze. We'll take one more inhale. We'll slowly start to unravel. So try and, with control, release your arms and release your legs. Maybe bring your feet together and bring your palms together in front of your chest and just see how all that feels. So there are sensations that we create, particularly with that balanced posture, because we're kind of compressing and then releasing, and when we release things, then all sorts of sensations start to happen in our body. Okay, we are going to come in for a chair now before we come into the other side. So you might want to separate your feet here. We're coming into Utkatasana. We're going to do a little twist. So feet either together or a little bit apart. We'll just bring the hands towards the center of your chest to start. And we'll just bend into your legs. So we're just coming into that Utkatasana shape. Now, as we do that, just check your knees are level. So one is not in front of the other, but they're kind of in line. And we want to keep that as we twist. So if you wanted to, simply, you could take your left hand onto your right knee and just reach up with your right hand. If you want a little bit more, with the hands together, start to take your left elbow to the outside of your right knee and rotate round from there. So we draw back a little bit from that right shoulder and keep the knees as level as you can. Maybe drop the hips down. Okay, breathe deeply. Okay, when you're ready, we'll come back to the center with your arms. So we're going to stay in chair. So we'll keep the hips and then the legs bent and reach up this time with the arms. So just sitting and sit, draw your shoulders back. Okay, one more breath. And then slowly press to your feet. Rise back up. Okay, we'll change sides. So you might want to push that block to the other side if you're using it. Just quite close to your left foot. And then standing onto your left leg, we'll start to bend into it and we'll draw the belly in. So Karadasana first. So when you're ready, we'll start to take the hands to the hips or hands to the center and lift up through your right leg, crossing it over the top of that left hand. So maybe placing your foot on the block. If you want a little bit more, start to move that right foot so it comes around the back of the calf on that left side. Keep your hips centered. Lower the hips down if you can. Find your drishti in your breath. Again, please stay with this if you feel that this is better. Otherwise, take your arms out. And we'll take the right arm under the left this time. So as we come in, grab shoulders, take the little bind once or twice. Good. And then maybe start to lift your elbows up just a little inch. Breathing deeply, being present. Hard not to in a balance. Okay, slowly and carefully, just start to release. Coming back in, feet together to start. Hands towards your chest. Just take a moment. And it's not just the sensations in our body we're interested in, it's also the sensations in our mind. So what goes through our minds is just as important. Okay, let's go in for this chair again. So Utkatasana, feet together or apart, your choice, hands to your heart. Start to sink into your legs. So just bending into your knees, keeping your chest lifted. So option-wise, you could just take your right hand to your left leg and reach up through your left arm. If you want to keep the hands together, then just start to move that right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. So you kind of use that on the knee to kind of push yourself around a little bit and drawing back through your shoulder. It makes sure the knees are pretty level. You glance down and check them out. Well done. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. Again, we're keeping that chair position, but move your hands back towards the middle and then start to reach up with your arms again. Well done. We'll take one more inhale. When you're ready, start to push through your feet, bring your hands together. Okay, we're going to do some standing postures now. So we're going to come up towards the top of your mat. We're just going to step back into warrior one. So you might need to keep your block handy. Remember, we're going to do a forward fold a little here. So if you stand, first of all, just with your feet maybe hip distance apart, so you've got a nice balanced position. Relax your shoulders and draw your belly in. So the right foot, just a step to warrior one, so not too far back, and place the heel down, turn the toes forward. And if you need to, you can always walk your front foot out a little bit or your back foot out a little bit. So the shoulders and hips are forward, the front leg is bending, but the weight is even between your feet. And then maybe reach with your arms. So try and relax the shoulders a little bit. Good. And just see what feels right to you. So finding your breath and your drishti here is just as important as when we're in a balanced posture. Probably more important to try and stay present here because it's harder. Because we're doing less, so we don't have to focus our mind as much, but that is the challenge. We're going to take one more inhale. We're going to move to warrior two. So we're kind of looking at the hips in warrior one and warrior two today. So rotate round to warrior two. If you need to adjust your feet and your legs, then do that. Start to reach through your fingers. And again, make sure that everything feels good from the ground up. So spread your toes, make sure it feels pretty balanced. This front knee, remember it's not dropping in. I'm trying to stretch open through your hips. Try to stretch it open through your chest, so maybe give the shoulder blades a little squeeze. Go along your front hand. Well done. Now we're going to take one more inhale here. We're going to move back into warrior one. So it's a little bit of a trickier transition. So we're rotating around through our shoulders and our hips, reaching up with our arms. You might need to hop your back foot in, that is fine. You just make that little adjustment and then come in. So sometimes it's worth just coming out of your practice for a moment to come back into it. Now this time as you come back in, so sometimes when we revisit a posture, we can go maybe a little bit deeper into it. Maybe this time you interlink your fingers and then reach back a little bit with your hands. So a little bit like we did when we were in that lunge position earlier. So just a little back bend. Strongly through your feet. Engaging through the muscles of your legs. Rotating around through your hips. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to move to warrior two again. So release your hands. Start to rotate around again. As we come into warrior two this time, we're not going to stay in it, but just appreciating the side angle that we have. We're going to move into triangle.
So we're going to lengthen through the front leg, push out through that right hip, and lengthen over your left leg. So maybe reaching up with your top hand. But trying to keep yourself in alignment, so we're not moving forwards or back too much. Good. Trying to imagine that we're between two sheets of glass, and we're not poking out anywhere in order to get further down. In fact, somebody used a nice one the other day. It was to imagine that you're between two waterfalls and you don't want to get wet. Okay, when you're ready, on an inhale, come back up again. Now from there, a very similar movement is to move from triangle to Parasvatanasana. So you're going to release your hands down. You probably, or you will, need to hop your back foot in because it's much narrower stance. The legs stay straight, back toes turn in, and the body turns towards the short edge of your mat. And then lift your belly and your chest, but this time start to reach forward with your upper body. So as you come forward, we're trying to keep the spine nice and long. So you might not come that far. If you want to, for the first one, maybe take your hands behind your back. So you could take hold of opposite elbows. Maybe you bring your fists and press them together. Or if you can, you could try that reverse prayer position and namaskar, which is really beneficial, especially if you kind of do a lot of kind of computer work, if you're kind of rounding your back a lot. This is really good for stretching out through the shoulders and through the wrists as well on that reverse namaskar. Okay, when you're ready, we'll come back up. So inhale slowly, rise back up. Release your hands when you get there. You roll your shoulders a little. And then we're going to come into a wide leg forward fold. So we're simply going to turn your left toes in and your right toes might need to kind of walk out a little bit. Just check that your toes are kind of level so they're not one further back than the other. So if you've got your block handy, then just make sure it's there. And then start to lift your belly and your chest and then just fold forward. So you can put your hands onto your hips, just lengthen your spine. You might just stay here, just with that straight back, or maybe you release down. Again, use your block here. So if you've got block, bring it in front of you, use it. And you can use it to draw yourself forwards a little bit so the weight's not all there. And remember, with our forward folds, they're meant to be relaxing. So it's meant to be something that you can relax in. So if you're all tense, then that's not going to happen. So if you can, bend your knees a little bit, see where you can soften a little. Relax your head and your neck. Now from here, you can just simply stay in this forward fold. We are going to come in for a twist, but if you don't want to, stay where you are. If you'd like to, then we're going to move your hands forwards a little bit and then lift your chest a little. And then from here, you can either use your block again. So right hand onto the block in the middle between your feet. And then the left arm is going to stretch up. You could take that hand to the floor, or maybe you take your right hand to your left leg. Just whatever feels right. And if you're taking it to the leg, just make sure that you're not kind of moving your hips. We're keeping the hips pretty centered as we do that. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. Now from there, slowly release your hands. So come back down. Again, use your block or have your hands on the ground. Now from here, you're going to turn the toes of your left foot up towards the short edge of your mat. As you do that, you're going to bend into it. So try and keep the hands for the arc. You're in warrior two legs, but your hands are still towards the center. So the left foot is turned up and the left leg is bent. Right leg is straight. So if you can, we're going to walk round towards that left foot. So you're going to walk your hands around all the way to the left foot, turn onto the toes of your right leg. So you're in a lunge position. It's very nice. Okay, from there, we're just going to step to the top. So we're going to bend the back leg, step it in. As you step in, just bend your knees, fold towards your legs, maybe clasp hold of your elbows again like you did before, and either sway side to side or maybe move a little bit forwards and back. When you're ready, release your hands. So we're going to roll up again. So draw your belly in, start to roll and rise all the way up. Take your time. Shoulders back, head lifts. Nice. Very nice. Okay, we're going to do the other side. So again, you can stay exactly where you are. I'm just going to move so you can see better. But we'll start with our feet hip distance. Make sure your block's handy. I'm going to step back this time with your left leg. So to warrior one, step it back, positioning your feet as you want them to. Rotate your shoulders and your hips round. Bend a little bit more into the front leg if you can. And then maybe just reach it up with your arms. Again, if it doesn't suit you to reach up, then don't. Bring your hands towards your chest and just working through the legs will give us that position as well. And start to feel a strong stretch through the back of that left leg. So we're stretching through the muscles of the calf, we're stretching through the hips as we rotate around. Try to be present. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to open to warrior two. Take your time, just moving around, adjusting your feet and your legs. Just move in. So start with the feet, move through your legs and your hips. A little checkpoint, if you like, of how it feels. And there is always a position where it's just right. We just have to find that and then try and stay present when we get there. We'll take one more inhale. So we're going to move back into warrior one. So take your time, rotate round, reach with your arms, maybe hop your back foot in if it doesn't feel quite right in that position. Turn toes, relax the shoulders. And if it feels right, maybe take your hands together and start to move back a little bit without straightening the front leg. So we're not going back like that. We're keeping the front leg bent and we're just moving the chest back. If it doesn't suit you to do that, then don't do it. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to open up to warrior two again. So take your time moving round into that warrior two position. And when you get there, we're coming into another side pose, triangle. So we're going to straighten your front leg, maybe hop your back foot in, push away through your left hip, lengthen over your right leg. So reaching up with the left hand, or maybe you take the left hand behind your back to draw the shoulder back. But remember, it is a side stretch. We're not trying to get down. It doesn't matter how far we go down. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. So we'll start to move up again. So draw your belly in, lift yourself back up. When you get up, just release your arms. Maybe give them a little roll. So we're coming into Parsvajtanasana. So we're coming forwards again. So hop your back foot in. Keep that front leg straight. Rotate your shoulders and hips. And you might need to move your right foot out to the side if it's not wide enough to rotate round. So lift your belly and your chest, start to fold forward. So you could do the same things you did with the arms the last time. Maybe this time, if you've got blocks, you can either take your hands to your thigh, maybe down towards your blocks if you've got them either side of that front foot, or maybe you can take your hands to the ground, but you just work with what feels right. Just be aware of your right hip here. So sometimes as we start to move deeper into this, the right hip pushes out. So we want to squeeze it back in towards the middle. Draw your belly in, lengthen your spine. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. You're going to start to move up again. So take your time, draw your belly in, lift yourself up. Very nice. Okay, so from there, another wide leg forward fold. So turn your right toes in. Again, you might need to move that left foot out a little bit. So align your toes, This time, maybe reach up with your hands, but if you just like to lift the belly and your chest, you can. Maybe on an inhale, you like to stretch up, and on the exhale, fold forward. So either hands to the thighs again, or maybe just folding all the way down. So use your block if you've got it. Bend your knees if you need to. Very, very nice. And try and relax into it. So try and soften into it a little bit more. Again, please feel free to stay in this forward fold if that suits you better. Otherwise, we'll start to walk the hands forwards again and lift your chest a little bit. And then from there, if you want to come in for that twist, so using your block, just taking your left hand on it, maybe taking your left hand to the floor between your feet, start to open up to your right hand. And if you want to take that left hand onto your right leg, then do that as well. Just make sure you're not twisting too much in your hips as you come round. So the hips stay level and the rotation happens through your belly button. Okay, from there, slowly release your hands down. So either towards your block or to the floor, wherever you can. And then from here, we're going to turn the toes of your right foot, so up towards that short edge of your mat, bending into the knee. So we're in these warrior two legs. So the hands still down. Again, see how it feels. So we are rotating a little bit in the hip as we do that. Okay, if you can, from there, start to walk your hands all the way up towards that right foot. Turning on the toes of your back leg, we come into lunge. Very, very nice. Okay, from there, we are going to step back this time. So with your right foot back to your left, lower your knees, and we'll just come into a child's pose. So you can settle yourself back. So as you come into this, you might stretch your arms out, maybe cross them over and drop your head down, or release your arms by your sides, whatever it feels right. Okay, when you're ready, we'll slowly start to move up. We're just going to come to a sitting position. So use your hands, press yourself up, and then bring your legs round towards the front. As you come in, we're going to sit with our legs wide again, so like we did at the beginning. So maybe bend your knees or keep your legs straight. If you want to sit in a block here or a folded up mat or blanket, then please do that. So we're going to fold forwards. So again, as you inhale, you might want to reach up and fold in from there. Or maybe you just take your hands onto the ground and just start to walk yourself forward. So whatever feels like the best thing for you. And maybe on the first few breaths, on the inhale, you could lift your chest a little bit, and then on the exhale, folding in. And just if that suits you, if you'd rather just stay still, then do that. You could repeat that a few times. Inhale to lift, exhale to fold. And then maybe for the last few breaths, just let everything go. So relax your head. Even if you're high, try and relax your head and your shoulders. Relax your neck. When you're ready, we'll come back up. So just using your hands, start to walk them back. Lift your chest. You can keep your legs wide. You don't have to have them super wide for the next one. So it's a wide side version of Janushirasana. So we're going to keep your right leg straight and bend your left leg out. So just towards the inner thigh, try and relax that leg down. And then turning your body again round towards that right leg, placing your right hand somewhere along the legs. It's similar to the move that we did at the beginning. Just see how it feels now. So grab hold of something, your leg, your ankle, your foot, and then reach up and over through your left hand. Now again, that might feel a bit odd, especially if you can't go all the way across here. So if you want to, you could take that left hand behind the back of your head and then start to, maybe on the inhale, draw your shoulder back, and then on the exhale, fold in. And you could repeat that a few times. Inhale, draw it back. Exhale, fold. Just see how it feels. And then maybe just stay in that folded forward position. Breathing into the side of your body, hips down. When you're ready, slowly and carefully rise back up again. Good. Release your legs. Give them a little shake. And we'll come in for the other side. So when you're ready, we're going to keep your left leg straight. Bend your right leg in. Again, turn your body a little bit towards that left leg and lay your hand down somewhere along the leg. The ankle or the foot, wherever you can reach. As you inhale, start to reach up and over to your right arm. And again, you might just stay with that right arm reaching, or maybe you take your right hand behind the back of your head. And if you want to, on the inhale, start to pull the elbow back. And on the exhale, fold in. See if that helps you. If it doesn't, then, just do what feels right to you. Just hold it. And then finally, just moving in, just finding the right position. Staying there, just breathing. And when you're ready, slowly come back up, take your time. Release your legs out to the front, maybe give them a little shake off. So we are going to move down onto your back now. So you can take your time. We are going to come into a bridge as we come down. So if you want to, you could use your block again. So it's just going to be a static bridge this time. Again, just see how it feels in comparison to that moving one. But lay yourself on your back. Walk your feet in towards your hips, so about hip distance. Maybe have your hands palm up on the ground. And then as you inhale, start to push and lift through your hips. So to any degree, so you can lift a little bit, maybe you place your block under and rest your hips down. Or maybe you press up a little bit more. And if you manage to get up onto your shoulders here, then maybe you start to move your shoulder blades under your back. Then tilt your fingers and push down through your upper arms to lift your hips higher. If that doesn't appeal to you, then don't bother doing it. I'm going to take one more inhale here. When you're ready, either removing the block or releasing your hands, slowly lower your hips all the way back down towards the mat. As you do that, separate your feet quite wide. So take them out to the edges of your mat and then just allow your knees just to drop towards one another. When you're ready, we'll separate the knees and we'll start to walk the feet back in so they're hip distance apart. Now again, from here, we'll draw the right knee in, hands on top of the knee of the shin, and extend your left leg away. So as we started, so try and push your way through that left heel and try and draw the right knee in a little bit more. And we're coming in for a twist here. So we'll use your left hand onto your right knee. Start to draw the knee over towards the left side. As you do that, you might stretch your right arm away and look along it. And if you wanted to, you could also stretch your right leg out. So you could straighten your right leg. But if that doesn't feel right, then just keep it there. When you're ready, slowly start to bend that right knee. And then draw yourself back in towards the middle. As you do that, both knees into your chest. You just move a little bit. So we'll do that on the other side. So left knee in, right leg extending away along the ground. So again, push your way through your heel and draw your left knee in a little bit more. So coming in for the twist, so use your right hand on that left knee. Start to draw it over towards the right. Extend your left arm and maybe look along it. Again, if you want to straighten out a little bit more, do that left leg, then do that. When you're ready, come back in towards the middle. Again, just drawing your knees back into your chest. Any final little movements here? So any little moves that you want to do. And then just when you're ready, we would come in to Shavasana. If you want to put on some socks or jumper, then do that before you settle down. Just finding a comfortable position. Start to be aware of your breath again, but just allowing your breath just to find its own natural rhythm. This is called The Lightness of Presence by Kate Waitskin. Today, I ask for lightness in body. May my cloak of perception fall away. Ease in breath. May my energy flow freely on the vast vessel of my breath. Softness in mind. May my abundant thoughts disperse and give way to spaciousness. Vibrancy in spirit. May my limiting veil of uncertainty fall in love with the elegance and wisdom of spirit. Mental activity begins to fade. Clear seeing lands gently. Effervescent glimpses of true presence. I am here in body. I am here in breath. I am here in mind. I am here in spirit. With me, with you. This measure of presence invites laughter. Lines of the face dissolve, transform into smile. Parted lips, bright eyes. I see you with all of me. And there's nothing else to do but love. Today, I ask for this. When you're ready, we'll just take a deep inhale through your nose and then just sigh it out your mouth. You can do that again if you'd like, just in your own time. Just breathing in and just letting it go. And then we'll start to move just through your fingers and your toes. Like to stretch your arms over your head, then do that. And just reaching all the way down to your feet. And then bringing the arms over. Start to bend your knees. So either knees into chest or feet on the ground. Just a little bit of movement. If you do like to roll over onto your side, you can do that as well. And then when you're ready, just take your time. We'll start coming up. So just finding a comfortable seat when you're ready. Just bring the palms together in front of your heart. So just leaving a little gap just to signify an openness in your heart. So thank you so much for coming along and practicing with me this morning. Hope you enjoyed the presence practice that we did. Namaste. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll just stop that recording and then you can